man. This for everybody living a life, you know we rap them down since I locked on the Energy FM. You know the sound, the city that this crew rap, going finger skanking, roll with a two-step. Gonna make you sweat, you know the motion. Show me love, I wanna give you the.
Alright everybody, how's it going? So we're back again with another episode of the Mabcast, joined by Nick.
How's it going?
And got another very special guest. We've managed to get a good few ones on recently, so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Daniel August. I'm originally from Jamaica, born in Jamaica, moved around a bit. So I moved to, when I was like 4 or so, moved to Miami, then England, and then finally here. But most of my life was spent here. I would do dancehall, a fusion of music. So I'd mix in dancehall in my music, most definitely. R&B, hip hop, just like every element really.
So you're pretty international guys, because I mean you've lived all over the place. You've got all these different eclectic tastes in music, and I mean, so you wouldn't really restrict yourself to say you're a rapper, you're a singer.
No, definitely not. I like I always I want to be in a place where whenever I'm releasing a song, I don't want anyone to know like what it could be, just like a complete like ballad, or it could be like a song where I'm just going, you know, bars spinning, you know. So I don't like to limit myself in that sort of way.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, but how are you today? Like, how's
I'm
your day
good.
been?
I'm quite sick, as you guys know. Struggled, fought on, but I'm here. Yeah.
I mean, nothing's ever straightforward with these kind of things. Never is. But yeah, I mean, you're someone I've been aware of for a while. Like, I mean, we talked about in another podcast episode how we actually met you. Like,
yes. I was I'd watched your podcast before. I was like, man, I definitely want to get in touch with these guys, and I think we'd spoken a little bit before, because you guys had shared the Foolish song, and I was like, oh, crazy, and I didn't know that there was a podcast about like the Northern Irish scene, or just Irish scene in general. So I checked out you guys, watched the video, loved the content, absolutely loved it, and then I ran into you guys at what was it, like it was like 3 a.m. at KFC after a night out. I was pretty sure it was one of my friends' birthdays. We're Alibi just out, and then I invited you guys at KFC. That was an eventful night, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those are the best ways to meet people and get on them, because I feel like there's such a thing nowadays when you're involved in music to like force these interactions and to like force your way into meeting these people, and to like, I don't know, but it just felt so natural. Like I was pretty steaming myself. Like, do you make music? Like,
and as soon as you said, I realized you. As soon as you said, I was like, yes, you guys are Mabfield guys. It was crazy. Yeah, it was a good interaction.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel now that I'm starting to listen to more people and talk about their music and stuff. I'm starting to run into them more. I don't even know how it's happening, because I was aware of like these people's music, but I feel like it's like you're speaking it into existence, and it's like you talk about someone and bam, you see them, you know what I mean?
Ran into them, yeah, definitely. There's I would know a few of the guys around the Northern Irish scene. I would know, Leo Miyagi, Jordan, Tanaka, just a lot of the guys. I actually grew up with them, so like even before music, we'd all like known each other. I've known Leo since I was, say, around 16 or so. I've known Jordan since I was, just a kid. So I've like, again, as you said, like it's instead of like forcing interactions, it's natural, because we guys are like, we're actually friends, like we've actually known each other before all this. So that's dope. And like you're saying, like you've known these guys since you were young, and was music always like part of your life? I think, as a young kid? Well, sort of, yes. So my grandfather was he was friends with Bob Marley. So
no way.
I dead ass. I'm not even gonna flex. I'm not even gonna name drop. Like no, dead ass. My grandfather was friends with Bob Marley. He's I'm actually named after him. His name is Daniel. His name is David, but I have a few names. So my name is David Daniel. So but I go by Daniel. But he was friends with Bob Marley. He was a singer. He was quite a few things actually before he passed. But my mom would always play, like Diana Ross. Always play, my mom's a big fan of Usher for some reason. Usher.
No, that's like no reason to that. Like Usher is the goat.
So I grew up with ballads just across the house, and I started singing before I rapped. So before, you know, puberty hit, before my voice broke, I was singing, like, hit notes, and then like I remember one day I was supposed to be in a talent show or something like that. I think it was at a church or something, and I couldn't hit the notes anymore, and I was like, bro, what am I gonna do? And the guy was like, yo, why don't you try rap? I was like, no way, not me rapping, like, no. And I remember writing like my first like rap like on a page, and it was horrible. Let me just say this, it was hard. Like, like some people are born with talent. I honestly wasn't born with talent in that case at all. But I remember writing it down and just sticking with it. I don't know what made me continue, but I just kept going, and I performed like at a few things before I took it seriously. But I would say music has always been a part of my life, definitely. Yeah.
And in terms of sort of like getting into rap, what would have like influenced you rap wise? Like,
the most
what does influence you rather?
So whenever I first started, it's gonna sound funny because it doesn't, like, when you hear my music, there's no influence or trace of influence at all. But Tiny Tempa was actually like
Fair.
Yeah, whenever he like first like blew, I was like, bro, like, this is the guy who I want to be. Like, I want to like start rapping like him, blah blah blah. So I emulated my whole thing off of him, and I remember like listening to Drake for a while. Like, Drake is, you know, definitely a big influence on my music.
I mean, with Tiny Tempa, like, I don't think he gets enough credit for how much he brought.
He's actually done, you know,
like what he's done for English rap music for the mainstream. He was like one of the first, like, I mean, after Dizzy Rascal and stuff like that, but one of the first to make like chart toppers.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember he was on a run. Like, every song he was in was #1. I remember.
Yeah, what was that album? It was like Labyrinth or something.
It was Discovery. Yeah, and Labyrinth like produced like most of it, and like I think it was like everyone's first introduction to Labyrinth as well.
Yeah.
So he did do quite a lot. I remember him like he tried to break into America for a while, and then that didn't work out as well. And then he came back and released a second album, and it just, you know, the buzz had, you know.
But I think like those sort of artists will always be remembered for what they did rather than what they didn't do, I guess. But funny story, I actually met Labyrinth when I used to work in a bar in Manchester, like, well, not a bar, like a concert venue. I was like cleaning the floors before everything happened, and like occasionally, you know, the artists that were there, you would bump into them, and he just came over and was like chatting to everybody, and like whilst we were cleaning the floor, and you wouldn't have even known he was like a big star.
You know what's funny? That you say that. I actually tweeted Labyrinth. I had like if you go on my Twitter, I don't know if it's still there actually, but I remember having a big long like a rant on Twitter where I was like, what's up with Labyrinth? Like, he hasn't released any music, blah blah. And he liked the tweet, and he still hasn't released anything. Like, hasn't released the album yet. But you know what I mean? Like, I remember when he liked the tweet, I was buzzing. I was like, no way, bro! Like, I'm gonna make it. Like, Labyrinth's like the tweet. I'm gonna like
DM me all his
yes. I remember like, I'm gonna DM him. I'm gonna like come up with like a whole business proposal, blah blah. It was like years ago. Like, but
I mean, can we just rewind a bit as well? Like, tell us more about this Bob Marley thing. Like, so your granddad like was mates with him.
Yes. Not I wouldn't have known. But my mom, like, when she was like a small girl, she'd tell me stories about, like, you know, when she was small, like Bob. It was funny because my grandmother, she grew up like around, you know, all like the Jamaican like legends and stuff, and she calls him Robert, which is like hilarious. I find it hilarious because like to everyone it's like, no, this Bob Marley man. Like, my grandma was like, oh, that's just Robert. I was like, don't call him that. Like, you've absolutely ruined like the whole essence of like this legend here. But she'd tell me stories about them just, you know, smoking in the back of the house, just playing, just jamming out, and just, you know, singing along.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. Like, when my mom told me, I didn't believe her at all. I was like, that's not true. Like, you're completely lying to me right now. Like, and I remember going to my grandmother, you know, asking her, and she confirmed. She was like, yeah, that's true. Like, I know Robert. He's a country boy down.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, crazy.
So like, even some of the other stuff I've heard, like, from you, I can hear that Afro influence. And some of it's a bit more subtle, maybe because you have like the more modern tones to your music. But I always really appreciate some of the more subtle nuanced things in music, you know, and like, what with your younger childhood of listening to that sort of music, do you think that it always carries through in some way, shape or form?
Definitely. I think just in, you know, cadences, pronunciations, things that I say, like just like I would say something like say like in a bar, it's like more fire up on your head top or something like that. It like that would just be like natural to me, you know. Like, so like even if it's not an all out reggae or dancehall track, I would never say that I do dancehall. I'd say more modern dancehall.
Yeah.
So like, you know, a lot of for example, my first single, "Foolish," I would say that definitely has a bit of like a, even though it's an R&B track, it definitely has like undertones of like, you know, Afropop, dancehall sort of thing.
Is that your first single?
Yes.
Can I just say that's like an insane first release? Like,
thank you very much. You know
R&B UK playlist on Spotify.
Yes, yeah, it was on the New Air playlist and the UK R&B playlist as well. You know what's crazy is that I actually didn't plan for that whatsoever. So like I remember thinking like because I'd actually had Foolish since October 2018, and I was sitting on it, living with it for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna release this. There was a lot of things that I could have went with, like that would have been like, you know, more upbeat, and I was like, but I want to go with something that's, you know, more true to me and like the situation where I am right now. So I just released it, and I remember like having like no promotion like whatsoever. Like I think I had like 4 days of promotion or something like that, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna release it. Whatever it does, and then I'll, you know, focus on getting music done. And so I released it, and I was like, okay, it's doing okay. The first week it like hit like 3,000. I was like, okay, I didn't expect that. And then I woke up one day, I was like, it's been added to like the UK R&B playlist. I was like, wait, no, like, is this true? And then like it got added to the New Air playlist, and I was like, okay, this is just blowing my mind. Like, and right now it's currently on 25,000 when I last checked. So it put a lot of pressure on me because like my managers on my back was like, okay, you gotta stay on the hype, you know. And I was like, okay, like, but I had nothing done. I was like working on an EP. My plan was to release an EP around now, but me being me, you know, like I'm a perfectionist, so everything has to be done. Like, I can hear a song 100 times, and the 99th time I'm like, okay, it's not ready, you know. Like, I have to change this, I have to add this, I have to put this here, blah blah. And working along with different producers like Ellie, with Mateo, who you've mentioned before, and Caslo. The EP's actually all produced by Caslo, and there was a point where I just no sleep, or it was just locked in recording like 24/7 every night. Definitely. And I had it done, and I was like, okay, I think it's ready to be released. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know if I want this to be sort of the introduction. To me, I want to show that I can do other things as well, you know, because the EP is more primarily singing. Even though I do rap and have, you know, a lot of rap cadences throughout my music, I wanted to show that, you know, I was a rapper first. So yeah, I worked on a mixtape. It's funny because I sent you guys an early copy, and just before the interview, I was like, okay, you know what? I kept listening to it, and as I said 99 times, I'm like, okay, it's not done. So I had to like I recorded like non-stop, and then finally I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it go. This is it. I'm not gonna do anymore. So.
Just like whilst recording, just be careful of your hands, like just because it'll keep like tapping and stuff. Yeah, with this EP that's coming out, what was the thought process? Was it that you needed to get like a coherent project out, that you needed to showcase like a lot of things, or did you just have these like sentiments and feelings that you wanted to express in a bigger project? Because you said that to me when you were talking about it that you were like true to yourself, quite authentic about it. Like, there's bangers in it, but that's not all it is. There's like melodic, like heartfelt, introspective songs, you know what I mean? Which I wasn't expecting.
I think it was a bit of both. So like I wanted to, even though the EP was coherent and was like a, you know, like it's basically a done project, I didn't want to I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't the right introduction. I felt like there was a lot of things I had to get off my chest before introducing myself at that point, because with the music it's sort of like a time point as to where I am. So with this mixtape before the EP gets released, I wanted to sort of have like a like a running up as to where I am. So when the EP drops, it makes more sense. So with this, there's a lot of stuff that, like, you know, I question. For example, I grew up without a father, so like even on this, I question like the song BAMS, which stands for Boys Are Meant to Be Strong. So I question, what is it to be a man? So like I don't come with any answers, obviously, but there's a lot of questions throughout it. On the song Rum, where I talk about, you know, having doubts in myself, like musically. I'm like, am I gonna be up there, or am I just gonna, you know, just be one of those like rappers on SoundCloud, just releasing all the time and not making any dent within the scene? Just a lot of things that I question.
That's cool, because like there's so many people that just, I mean, I think rap is inherently braggadocious. And people love to say I'm better than you, and you do have points in it where, you know, you're saying I'm confident in myself, which is great, but showing the like human element and the human side of it, I think, is super important as well. Yeah, I think that people buy into the artist, not the, you know, not just the music. And if the artist is not a likable person, then no one's gonna listen to the music per se. And I think just laying it bare and be like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I've went through, this is my thought processes behind a lot of things. I think it's a good build up, sort of, so to say, up to the EP, where it's a lot more commercial, a lot like a more, like, you know, accessible side.
Essentially. And this mixtape, I don't want to say mixtape or EP, I want to say project. This project it's not going to be, you know, on all streaming platforms. It's going to be on SoundCloud. I think it's deliberate. I wanted to sort of go back to like the roots of where I started releasing on SoundCloud, you know, and, you know, I think it's, even though, you know, like Spotify, Apple Music is more accessible, I just wanted to have a more earthy, raw sort of sound and sort of feel to it.
I mean, there's so much goes into promo, release, even just the sort of professional aspect of it. So it's like refreshing to just have, right, I'm dropping this on SoundCloud. That's where you're gonna find
essentially
it. Like, this is me. Like, no big release rollout or anything. It's just, this is how I'm going to drop it, this is how it is. Essentially,
that's exactly what I wanted to go for. I do have, you know, more, like a more commercial release coming up soon, but I still want to have that element where I'm like, you know, surprise, I'm releasing something, you know, like, so that's sort of the route I took when dropping this.
That's cool. And obviously you've got like the likes of Ryan on the mixtape, so he's also from NxGen.
Yes, there's
So what's the story of the NxGen? Because a lot of people listening aren't going to really know.
Exactly what NxGen is more. It's a collective of, you know, different artists from Northern Ireland. There's Jordan Tingy, Tanaka X, Nostalgic, Jasper Mafia. I'm gonna try to name them all. There's producer Kazlo, who I mentioned before. He's on it. He's on a part of the collective. There's Dina Anuska. There's Gemma Bradley, and myself. I think that's everyone.
But a lot of artists on the roster.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent on the roster as well. But I think what makes the collective so special is the fact that no one sounds the same, like, whatsoever. Everyone has a complete different sound. Like, I live with Tanaka, and our sounds can be more completely different. You wouldn't tell that we came from the same household, which is crazy. So I think like there's a lot of, you know, I do get hit up quite a bit, you know. I was like, oh, do you want to feature in this song? Do you want to, like, can we do songs together? But I think, like, as you said, it's about it being natural, you know. If you send me a song and I feel it, you know, then that's me, I'm on it, you know. And I think me and Ryan, Nostalgic, we've worked a lot. We actually released a joint project way back called Negro Blanco, and it was released on SoundCloud, and it actually did quite well for like what we're doing. And I think with this we actually built quite a you know, like a fan base, you know, of just of us being a duo together. So I think what I wanted to do on this was, because obviously you had the version before he was on it. I was like, nah, if it's gonna be like the old days where I'm like, okay, I'm just putting it on SoundCloud, he has to be on it. He's definitely an artist that I definitely like mesh with and gel with whenever we're working together. So
I mean, me and Nick have talked about this a lot, about this sort of like DIY attitude to things and keeping things in house, and like some of the most successful artists in Ireland at the moment very much follow that that way.
Definitely, yeah.
Lab, for example.
Yeah. And like you've got even Software Records, like you don't see Kojak working outside of that really. The Fusion Lab, you know, Jafaris and like Rushes and stuff all seem to sort of stick together. But that, like you said, that natural chemistry, you can't buy that. And
exactly,
you're sort of dishing out features here and there. Like obviously it's good to get your name out there, but like what you are doing, like you just showed me some unreleased stuff where you're just working together. You can tell that it's like carefully crafted, and it's not like someone's just sent you the track.
A track. I jumped on it. Definitely.
And I think that's super important for you guys. Build what you're building, because it's not like a quick fix what you're doing. You very much have like a long term vision.
You've been down to like one of our meetings before. Like it's
what are these like these meetings as well? Like what?
Yeah, what happens? So like we tend to meet you know, most Fridays, and we just discuss game plans essentially, like, you know, you just release schedules and just what we have planned in the future. We have a lot planned in the future, none that I can disclose. But we do have some stuff in the bag, but it's just about, you know, as I said, everything's down to planning, everything's down to timing. So like, even though like it's not about the dog that barks the loudest, it's the one that has the bite, you know. So even though there's not, you know, we don't like blow the trumpet all the time, like blah blah blah, like say NxGen. There's a lot of great stuff coming up that, you know, definitely is going to blow some people away.
Because I was very conscious that you haven't been that prolific with output recently. In like 2018, you know, you did put out some music, but I was really wanting more. Yeah. But I feel though that this was like a concerted effort, and this was like a plan. Like 2018 was the foundation, and like you were ready to fucking smash 2019.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people releasing soon. I don't know if you saw Jordan's story, but he posted that he's releasing music soon. Talaka, he's releasing music every Sunday now.
Sunday, I've seen that.
So there's quite a bit of artists that are, you know, I wouldn't say I know everyone's game plan, but I do know quite a few, and I would say, you know, music's on the horizon, definitely. For myself, definitely. The last song I released was Bonnie and Clyde 3 AM, which was like 2 months ago or so, or a month ago, if I'm correct. But it's on purpose, you know. If you oversaturate the market, then you're no longer special, you know. Your music's no longer has the punch, essentially. So if you plan it out, you release again down to timing, then it has the maximum effect whenever you drop it. So it's all on purpose, it's all planned, definitely.
That's cool. And me and Nick had talked a bit about why we think Northern Irish scene is maybe not as prolific or as big as some other ones. And when we were comparing it even to Dublin, we were saying it's way more multicultural down there. You know, you've got a lot more influences, and it just brings a different sound. Because I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but to me it's quite stale and boring to hear the same boom bap tracks with white Irish guys rapping. But you know, like there's obviously space for it, but I do think that you get the best music when you're getting like a diverse mix of people working together, and like the culture is diversifying.
We're starting to get there.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like we're a bit further behind because I think Northern Ireland is less diverse than other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think definitely, because there's also not like I'm not gonna say not platform, but like for so long it wasn't accessible, you know. For so long there was no artists releasing on, you know, Spotify or on Apple Music and stuff like that. There was no like, if you were to go to someone and say, you know, Northern, you know, there's Irish rappers, like what is that? What does that even sound like, you know? There was for so long. It was funny. Me and Asaj were talking about this the other day, and we're like, and now it's coming to a point where it's cool. It's cool to rap. It's cool to like do music. But like we remember back in the days, we got absolutely battered by a bullet. Like it was like, oh, who do you think you're Tupac? Like for nostalgic, oh, you think Eminem? There's so much like that we went through to like, now we're finally at a stage where it's like, you know what, these guys they're not playing. You know, they're not just releasing music just to be cool, you know, or like they actually have something to say. You know, they're actually representing us as you know, as an island, as a, you know, as a community. And I think definitely, as you said, it's getting more multicultural. And as you said, there is space for, like, you know, the boom bap, but there's definitely space for other stuff. And I think what's amazing right now is I think we're on the, you know, the crisp of there being a sound, you know, for up here, because what's coming out of here is completely, it's stuff that I've heard definitely is just completely different. So like where, you know, in London or even down south or, you know, like it's different, you know. But I think it's definitely not only sellable, but I think it's good quality music. So I think, you know, that also always helps when the music's good.
I mean, that's the most important thing, really. It's interesting because I do agree with what you're saying. Like, we're still trying to cement the sound. But you're starting to see certain lanes develop, and certain artists, like that track on the mixtape with Ryan. Like, he has a very clear Northern Irish accent over it. He's got that, like, sort of triplet flow going over the top of it, but it's very, you know, it's very distinct. It's a nice blend.
Definitely. I think what is so good about here is the fact that, like, definitely nostalgic is he embraces it, you know. He embraces his accent. He doesn't try and change it, like, whatsoever. You can tell with my accent as well, like I've grown up here, you know. There's even if it's not completely, there's twang, definitely. So with him, all I can do is hats off, because there's so many people, it's like, it's not gonna work, you know, with that accent. It's never gonna work. And with he just shows you it can, you know, definitely.
I think you need people to, like, persevere with it as well, because when anything starts, it's always seen as a bit, like, weird and niche, and it takes for more people to do it, to, like, almost normalize it, because the general audience, they're gonna be, like, not as receptive to it, but people involved in music, like, and are actively listening to it, like you or anybody else in NxGen, or like anybody who podcast, they're gonna be listening, and they're going to be, like, tuning their ears to it and adapting to it.
See, beyond the accent though as well, like, there are a lot of people, like, that I know that, you know, I even just play like a Kojak tune to, and they don't know who he is or anything like that, but they can't sort of get past the accent point of it. Like, if you actually even just break down the lyrics and the beat and everything, like, it's great, but they just hear, like, oh, this is Conor McGregor rapping. Like,
I totally get you. I get what you mean.
No, there's so much more to it.
But I think what helps with the accent up here is that I think it's, like, definitely nostalgic. His accent's easily digestible. Maybe it's because I've heard him so many, like, for so long, but I think his accent is easily, you know, digestible, where for example, when you say Kojak has a really, really strong accent, and I love, you know, his music's really good, but I think with you know, when, like, nostalgic, his accent would be easier to be like, oh, okay, there's a little twang on there, but I don't exactly know where that's from, you know. But the music's good, the beat slaps, he's rapping, you know.
And just to pick up on that, on the beats, like, on this new project, like, I very much feel like you curated the beats very carefully. Like, there's one sounds a bit like the back-to-back track with Drake and Meek Mill, like it.
Yes, and
I just thought, and I was, obviously it's not the exact same or anything, but I just was listening to it and I was like, fuck, this goes hard, and, like, and some of the, like, what's the closing track?
The closing track is Silk.
Silk
with Caslo.
So again, that's, like, completely other end of the spectrum, you know, a lot slower, but there's a cohesive sound to it throughout, you know, and I think that's something that is underrated, is, like, being able to carefully curate and select the beats so that they match a style throughout. Definitely.
I'm a project type of artist. I don't like, you know, there's artists that have good singles, you know, but if you can't put a cohesive project together, then
story,
then I don't know, like, to me it's just like I can't rate. Can you
listen to an album on shuffle? Because I cannot do that shit.
It has to play from start to finish, man. Like, that's just the way I am, you know.
Those people definitely clap when the plane lands. Like, they're the kind of people that are shuffle an album. I just can't. I'm sorry, that's just
I'm definitely not the type of person. I'm more, you know, start to finish. like for example, there's a lot of artists, you know, that that's why Jafaris, for example, I rate Jafaris so highly. It's just that, you know, he was able to put a cohesive project together. Not many people are able to do that. Not many people are able to, because we live in an area where it's singles, you know, singles are what's popping, you know, like 100%. Yeah, exactly. So if an artist can put together a cohesive project, then that is what puts you in front of, like, miles ahead of the rest.
Like, you can hear a single once and know everything about it near enough. Like, you can hear it once, you know, you think.
But with project, there's layers.
Yeah, there's layers to it, and it's like all my favorite albums I've grown to love more and more because I just strip and peel back more layers and just hear more to it. And that's like with the Jafaris album, like the more I listen to it, the more I enjoy it. And obviously initially I was super receptive to it initially because it sounds great.
Yeah, sonically it's amazing.
Sonically it's amazing, but it's like as it goes on, the fact that you can just keep coming back to it because you feel like you're getting more from it all the time. Yeah. It's like, for me, Kid Cudi was that person that really introduced me to like the album format. You know what I mean? Who was what's the first album that like sticks out to you musically?
Oh, jeez, don't do this to me, man.
But like, just earliest memory, like I'm not saying like your favorite album, but like you go to think I listened to this whole album, because when you're a kid or when you're young, that's like a big deal to like regularly listen to an album.
Definitely, I remember downloading Drake's Take Care for the first time. I think it was
was it?
I don't remember, man. I think it was on like on my computer. I think it was iTunes. I think I downloaded it on iTunes. I think I used my mom's card as well. But I remember that was the first album I had actually listened to, Take Care by Drake, and I was just blown away, man. I was just, bro, like, this is, because I remember listening to I didn't know the concept of albums at that point. I was like, you know, I heard his singles, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I love Drake. And then I listened to his albums, like, there's so much more that he had to say on the album. So, like, that's why I never judge an artist by singles, you know, never ever judge an artist by their singles, but by whether or not they're able to put a cohesive body work together. One of my favorite projects is definitely Black, Free Black by Black. Oh my goodness! What I liked about it was just the fact that you were in his mind. You know, I like projects whenever you're essentially thinking with the artist who's like,
you're like a vessel for their thoughts, and you see through there.
Essentially, like, they create like a playground for you to run around and be like, okay, he was feeling this way when this happened. He was feeling this way when this happened. Like, for example, Nothing Was the Same by Drake. There's a song on it called, if I can remember, but there's a song where he was driving to go see a girl in the middle of the night, and you could hear the window wipers and like and it was like you were in the car with him, like driving, he's like, he stole his mom's car or something like that, and he was like driving, and he was running out of gas, so he didn't have any, like, his driver's license wasn't up to date and stuff, so you
feel involved in, like, the
exactly, you could feel like the intense fear of, like, if he gets pulled over by the cops, what's gonna happen, and it's like, that's type of albums I love, you know, whenever you're lost in the artist's head and in his thoughts and his vulnerability. Like, that's why, you can make a complete album where it's just bangers, but there's no depth, you know, there's no
but I feel like you've got like a real nice balance, and the way you're talking about all these artists shows you have, like, you care about both sides, but like, obviously you're receptive to like bangers and really good tracks, but like, the way you're talking about, you very much want to like put yourself out there. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to have something to say whenever everything's said and done. I don't want to just be remembered as, you know, he had that one song that hit really hard. I want to be that artist that was like, you know, he helped me through. Yeah, like I was listening to him when I was going through high school, through like a tough time. I was listening to him whenever I had a breakup. You know, I was listening to him like just whenever. I want to be like that guy that's, you know, that's there whenever you're partying, that's there whenever you're heartbroken, that's there whenever you're having those introspective thoughts. You know, I want to be, because people aren't one-dimensional, and like, you having these different songs like demonstrates the different facets of life. Like you're saying, like, you turn up, or if you're feeling sad, like you're in your feelings and you listen to this stuff. Like, that's essentially what I aim to do, like, with my music, because, you know, as you said, no one's one-dimensional, no one's happy all the time. Let's completely, you know, but like, everyone has their moods, everyone has their days where, like, you know what, man, I miss this person, or man, like, I hate this person, or man, I just want to turn up today, you know, like, everyone has like those like it's like an onion sort of thing, you know, like layers. Everyone has layers, so I think putting layers in your music is
like essential to like reach the masses.
And do you feel like the group you're in with NxGen, like you are all obviously very close, do you all support each other?
Yes, definitely. There's I'm not gonna say, you know, like we've all had our, you know, ups and downs. Well, not everyone's, but like we're definitely back to back.
The one thing that really stood out to me when I met all you guys at that meeting was how blunt you are with each other, but it's like from the best possible place. You know what I mean? Like, you played a song for someone and they said that is not the song you should have played. You know? You were all like going at it, and I sat there like, but straight after it was all good, and you were like, thanks for telling me that. You know, that was the right thing. And I was just sitting there going, holy shit! But it's obvious like you're such good friends that you're able to. That you can say,
definitely. Where it's like, okay, you know, change this word, change that. Do you know what? It's funny because Foolish, when I was gonna before I released Foolish, like it was the song was different. So like the first start of the sentence, right now it's like, I want you to know that it's done with me. You can call all night, but it's done with me, which is about a past relationship. But it was, I want you to say that it's done with me when we all know you're not done with me. And my manager was like, no, that's not it. That's not it. Like you want to stand at a position of power at the end of a relationship. And I was like, yo, like that's definitely what I want to exude like from the song, because that like throughout the song that's exactly what I was saying, but it was just the first two lines. Yeah, exactly. The first two words were, so we sat down for hours and like it was two lines, but it completely changed the direction of the song.
How important is your manager to you guys? Like I know that Joe, like when I was sat there and he was talking about stuff, he was very much let you all speak, and he was like, no, he knows his shit. Like.
Joe's if anyone know, Joe's the manager of NxGen, but Joe is very on point. He's very calculated individual, so he knows exactly what he's doing, and he, even though he doesn't vocalize, like the thing is, Joe is the type of person where you can just come to a meeting and then he'd be like, yo, by the way, next week you have the biggest show of your life. And I'm like, what? So like Joe does like he does a lot of things in the background, and he's a very hard worker, definitely. So shout out to Joe. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hats off. But yeah, with NxGen, I think as you said, we're all blunt, we're all family sort of thing. So if anyone plays a song and all of us are like, you know, change this lyric, change that, then no one's afraid to say, you know. And I think that's the type of circle you want to be in. You don't want to be in
a bunch of yes men.
Yeah, basically. Essentially, because if you're around a bunch of yes men, that's when you create horrible music, you know. And then that's when no one can tell you anything, because you're like, everyone's around me said it's fine. So like, what's the deal? So yeah, I think taking constructive criticism as constructive criticism and not hate is essential for, you know, but making it in music, because like a lot of times where, I mean, every artist has pride, you know, so like whenever someone's like, you know, nah, that's not it, there's a bit of you that's like,
fuck you.
Like, it's like, well, but it is it, but you just don't hear it yet. Well, like, or if someone's like, just change this, and you're like, well, it's actually from my point of view, and I wanted to say it like that. But I think whenever you understand that, you know, no one, like within your circle, whenever you have a small circle of people that actually care about you, and you understand that, you know, these people want to see me succeed, then you take it on board, you know, and you change whatever's necessary. And obviously I give my own opinion on, I'm not just going to sit there and take all the hit in the face, but you know, definitely I think it's more like family. NxGen, definitely, yeah.
That's cool. And I was sort of thinking when guests come on, like, about like just suggesting like and stuff that I want to hear from a selfish point of view. So, like people I would love to hear collab, like, because I very much think that it'd be cool to like just expose artists that are on this to other artists, so they can potentially work together, or even just be aware that they're making music and appreciate it. Like, is there anyone that you'd thought of in your head that maybe you could work with? Or because for me, like, something that jumped straight to my head was there's a guy, NxGen, he's a producer from down south, and like, I just think that you would be so good.
Really?
Like, so good over his beats. Like,
okay.
I'm just trying to speak this into existence for selfish reasons, because I want to hear
you want to hear
August and NxGen song. But,
yeah, definitely. As I said, I'm down, you know, like, as long as I, you know, like, as long as I connect with it, then I'm down, man. Like, I'm never the one to shy away from not, you know, just, you know, I like collaborations.
Yeah.
I do. I like whenever I collab with someone, I give them 100% creative freedom because I want to see what they come up with. You know, I don't want to be like, okay, sing this hook that I've written, and I want it to be like, okay, how do we meet in the middle here? How do we come up with something?
Is there anybody throughout Ireland that you would like to work with? Like,
jeez, on the spot.
Outside of NxGen.
Outside of NxGen. Jeez. There is someone that I have worked with.
Oh, okay.
Her name's Alicia Ray, and she's so talented. I've worked with her on a few stuff. Nothing that has been released as of yet, but in the next couple of months we'll see. But she's uber talented. Leo Miyagi, I want to work with him. I've actually, funny enough, I don't know if he wants me to mention this, but we did a tape together like a while back.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's
Very
crazy. Yeah, where we literally just met in the middle. Where he brought his sound, I brought my sound, and we just clashed. It was, I would say it was around 4 years ago now. But yeah, we've worked before, but like nothing recent. And we've actually been meaning to work together. But schedules was like, man, are you free this day? It's like, yeah, I'm free this day. And then just
schedules is like the fucking
it's crazy. Yeah.
Like, I mean, today's like an example. It's just like everybody wants the best for each other and you want to do stuff, but like life just gets in the way. So like, I think that's something that people take for granted as well with artists is like the amount of work. Like, it's not just you record a song and release it, it's the amount of shit that goes behind it. Even with like this podcast, like fuck me, like trying to organise like a day, not working, not doing something, trying to record and get it out. It's not easy.
One person I would like to work with, it just popped into my head because I've been listening to the song non-stop, is Sam Ojo. I don't know if you've heard of him. He is, oh goodness. I love his music. I'd known of Sam Ojo like way before, like way back in the day, when he was a part of I think it was a collective called Black Shed. Okay. And I think he's definitely one of the most lyrical people on this island. Definitely.
Yeah, I come across his stuff. I think he'd done a song with Evans Jr.
Yes.
I really rate him as well. But
yeah,
there's just, it blows my mind because we try so hard to keep up with what's going on, and at the start I was like, yeah, I know my shit, I know what's going on, and then I realized
there's so much.
There's just so much being released, and it's just a whirlwind. Like, especially with just the way the internet is, it's so, like you said, it's so easy to just drop track of all that. And there's so many new artists coming out all the time. Just keeping on top of it. I know. Feeling like you're doing it justice.
Yeah. And I think it's because, as I was saying before, we're definitely at a stage where it's cool. We're at a stage where it's acceptable for like, you know what, I'm gonna do music. It's not like a taboo, or you're not at a stage where you're gonna be ridiculed.
Yeah.
And I think it's positive in many ways where, there's a lot of there is a lot of creatives in Ireland that need more recognition, definitely, but I think there's also the negative aspects where there's people who aren't just trying to do it just to get sort of it's actually clout chasing. So yeah, definitely I think there's negatives and there's positives, but I think there's more positives. Outweighs the negatives. So
and if you could leave the audience with one thing to know about you or to go listen to your music, what do you want to say to people at home?
Well, let me do a quick shout out. My Twitter handle and my Instagram handle are the same, so it's I am Daniel August. I'm releasing the mixtape on, I'm not entirely sure when this comes out. I don't know if it comes out before or after, but I'm releasing the mixtape on the 7th of April. And no changes. It's finalized now. So yeah, so I'll be releasing it then. Food for thought. I don't know. I would definitely say this is definitely a prequel for the EP coming. It's called Before After 12. The reason it was called After 12 is because I think it's better listened to after 12. That's when I make most of my music, and that's when you're most introspective. That's what I find, anyways. So it's called Before After 12. Then the EP is called After 12. So just look out for those.
That's sick. This is a great conversation. Like,
yes, man, definitely.
What, second or third guest that's come on? And yeah, fair play. Like the music's dope. Like you're making moves. Like you're doing a lot. Shout out Bob Marley. Shout out NxGen. Like yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.